Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So, we have to talk about the Golden State Warriors, because they look fucking horrendous, I think is a nice way to put it. The defending NBA champions, definitely do not look like they have returned to NBA championship form. They are currently, basically dead last in the NBA in defensive rating. They are 28th right now out of 30 teams in defensive rating. They are 15th in the NBA in offensive rating. And they are dead last in opponent points per game. They are allowing the most points per game of any team in the NBA at 121.4. They have also went on to lose 5 straight games, okay? They have lost to some pretty bad teams, if I'm being honest. I mean, they lost to Charlotte, they lost to Detroit, they have lost to Orlando. They were split against Miami. They've lost a game against Miami and won a game against Miami. But right now they're 3-7, which is 13th in the Western Conference. And I'm just going to keep it a buck, man. I watched the Orlando Magic game against, Golden State versus Orlando, because it was the only game on that night that I think I was really interested in watching. I have Stephen Curry on my fantasy team, so I was like, okay, I'll watch this game because Stephen Curry's in it. And, boys, I'm just going to keep it a buck. They looked fucking horrendous on defense. I mean, it's not all on James Wiseman, I will say that. Even though James Wiseman has had his moments where I'm just like, he should not be letting his defender score that basket. There was also times where he's getting into a lot of foul trouble. He's had a real issue with foul trouble. He just gets stupid foul calls. I mean, I don't know if it's just because he was such a high pick and this is like the first year I feel like we're really seeing James Wiseman. I mean, he's been injured a lot, so I don't really know how much of James Wiseman we've really got to see. I mean, James Wiseman. So he was drafted in 2021. He only played 39 games his rookie year, and then he didn't play last year, and this year he's already played 10 games. He hasn't started any games, but he's averaging 7 and 4, which isn't bad. It's not great either, but he's just been letting people do basically whatever they want to him, and he's not the only one, man. I'm just gonna call it what it is. Jordan Poole has looked terrible on defense. I mean, I remember in the Orlando game, Jalen Suggs looked like a fucking superstar player against him. I mean, it was just time after time. Jalen Suggs was beating him off the dribble. Cole Anthony was beating him off the dribble. I mean, there was just it felt like every time I watched Jordan Poole play defense, he was just getting blown by. And for a guy who just got paid, you know what I'm saying? That's not a good look. I don't know if it's because he just, he finally got a huge max extension that he's just like, okay, I don't got to play defense anymore. That's not the case. You're still there to win. And honestly, Golden State's starting 5 is really good. It's just once their starting 5 goes out, it falls apart, and it falls apart very, very fucking quickly. They need some depth. Moses Moody has been, you know what I'm saying? He's okay. But, more often than not, it just seems like they're just getting their ass kicked a lot when their starting 5 comes out. Jermichael Green has had a lot of really dumb fouls and stuff like that. It's just been a lot of really stupid stuff, and I'm expecting them to hopefully turn it around. But on a per game basis, Stephen Curry is averaging, points per game. Is this, wait, why is this not? Okay. So Steph Curry right now is leading in points per game at 31. Andrew Wiggins is averaging 17. Jordan Poole is 16, and Klay Thompson is at 15. Draymond Green has been being Draymond Green for the most part. One steal, almost a block a game. We'll say this: Jordan Poole is committing a lot of turnovers. So is Steph Curry. They're about three a game apiece. And Moses Moody has not been playing well, man. Moses Moody shooting 39% from the field, 35% from three, which is not terrible from three, but 80% from the free throw line. I mean, like, this team is just not playing defense well. Jermichael Green, 23% from three is not what you'd like to see out of him. I think he's capable of playing better. Jonathan Kuminga, man, Jonathan Kuminga has not been what I expected either. I was expecting to see a giant leap out of Jonathan Kuminga this year. He's played 7 games. He started for one of them, averaging 14 and a half minutes a game, essentially. He's shooting 44% from the field, 14% from three. And, he's, for when it comes to steals, 0.4, 0.3 blocks. I mean, he's shooting 90% from the free throw line, which is good, but it feels like as soon as the starters come out, like, their defense just, it collapses. They're not playing defense. So Ty Jerome is not playing defense very well at all either. It's just like, it just feels like when their starters come out, they just fall apart. And I don't know if they're going to fix this. I really don't know what they can do to fix this. The only thing that I can think of, and Warriors fans are going to hate me for it, but I've stated this opinion before. Klay Thompson is only averaging 15 points a game, and you're paying him $40+ million this year. On another team, he could maybe be a number 1, number 2 option and get you, maybe 20, 23 a game or something like that. But it's pretty obvious at this point that, like, Klay Thompson's kind of an afterthought. It feels like it's obviously going to be Curry. Wiggins is going to get his. Jordan Poole, we know for a fact, is going to get his. But it's kind of like, Klay Thompson is, it feels almost like Klay Thompson's kind of lost a step defensively, and that's expected. Especially with all the injuries he's had, and the fact that he is finally, he's getting older. I'm not saying like he's fucking retirement home age, but it may be time to start exploring some trade options for Klay Thompson. Obviously I don't want to panic. I'm not panicking by any means because I think Golden State is going to turn it around. I think Steve Kerr is going to get in some people's ass, and so is Draymond Green, and they're going to turn the ship around. But I just think to myself, the Klay Thompson thing has been in the back of my mind for a while, and it's like you're paying him a lot of money to score 15 points a game. I mean, you could trade him to fucking San Antonio, get Doug McDermott or Josh Richardson, and they're capable of doing that for you. And Josh Richardson is not the greatest defender in the world, but he's capable. You know what I'm saying? And there's not a lot of teams with the cap space to really take on a Klay Thompson. But I'm sure there's some teams out there that maybe would pull the trigger if Klay Thompson became available. There's some team out there that's gonna want him. I don't know who it is, but someone's gonna want him if the Warriors make him available. And I kind of think at the trade deadline they're going to have to. Draymond Green's contract is coming up this year, and he's got a player option, which it sounds like he's going to decline. So it's kind of like the Warriors really got to try to salvage whatever team they have left here with the players they have left. And I just feel like if you're going to re-sign Draymond, you're going to have to put something else around Steph that's not Klay Thompson. You're going to have to put some defense and shooting. And I just feel like if that's going to happen, you're going to need to sign free agents or trade for somebody. And for me, it seems like the trade piece is going to be Klay Thompson. So I don't know, man. The Warriors just look like shit. I expect them to turn it around. Obviously things could change. Jonathan Kuminga could maybe shoot a little better than 14% from three. That would be appreciated. But defensively, they just look horrendous, and their offense, they're number 1 in pace. I'll give them that. Like, they're number 1 in the NBA in pace, but pace doesn't matter if you're not defending the other team or preventing them from scoring baskets. And I expect James Wiseman to get better too. I just want to say that. It's not all James Wiseman's fault, even though he has had some really shitty games where it's like he's drawing a lot of fouls, he's getting over the back calls and shit. Like, it could just very well be that the refs are like giving him a very short leash, but You know, I look at this and I'm like, I expect James Wiseman to get better. I expect Jonathan Kuminga to get better. I expect Moses Moody to get better. And I just haven't seen that yet. You know, I think Moses Moody's a capable player. I think James Wiseman's a capable player. I think Jonathan Kuminga's a capable player. Granted, I think Jonathan Kuminga may be a little more overhyped than, you know, how good he actually is. But, you know, it's just... only time will tell, but so far the Warriors have started off 3-7 and have started off like absolute dog shit, and I expect their defense to get better. Also, I will say this, Mike Brown is no longer on their roster, and he was supposedly a very big defensive guy. He's now the head coach in Sacramento. I do not know who they replaced Mike Brown with, but I will say this, since Mike Brown is now gone, that defense looks fucking horrendous. So... I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see if this changes. I expect it to, but that doesn't mean that it will. So, anyway, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.